Thank you for taking a few minutes to be with us today. My name is Valerie Johnson. I am the administrator and the lead SAP for Therapeutic Concepts Substance Abuse Services. Since 2008, I have provided the DOT Qualified Substance Abuse Evaluation for all 6 modes of DOT transportation. That includes federal motor carrier, the FAA, Federal Railroad, Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, Federal Transit, and the Maritime Administration, in addition to providing substance abuse evaluations for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. I want to cover just a couple of points today. And the first thing we'll talk about is the fact that many people don't understand the process, the SAP process. What we are as SAPs, we are gatekeepers in terms of public safety. We are first and foremost concerned about assisting DOT in keeping the public safe. You might ask, why is that such a big concern? Well, that's because when you think about it, the people who drive our 18-wheelers, the people who work on our oil and gas pipelines, the people who drive our buses, the people who fly our aircraft, the people who run the vessels on the water, the people who run the railroads. All of these are areas in which there is potential for great loss of life if safety is not a primary factor. These are all industries in which one small incident can actually wipe out a community. So DOT is very concerned about keeping the public safe in all of its transportation entities. That's where I come in as a SAP. As a SAP or a DOT qualified substance abuse professional, my role is to apply the regulations for my particular role as a SAP. That means meeting with the client, whether it's a regular employee or prospective employee, assessing that employee from the perspective of a professional clinician who has expertise in the field of substance use disorders and frequently associated mental health disorders. The process is quite simple. Once there's a violation of 49 CFR, the employee or prospective employee comes into our office. They are seen by a DOT qualified SAP. Keep in mind, I'm not saying certified because there's no such thing as a certified SAP. DOT does not certify SAPs. Now, we all may have certifications from organizations that grant our credentials. However, DOT does not certify any SAP. It is called DOT qualifications, meaning that we have met and we continue to meet the criteria that DOT has set forth in order for us to be able to facilitate this process. And we'll talk about that in the future. Let's go back and talk a bit, make a couple of points before we move forward. The first point I want to make is if you are employed in any of the DOT entities, any of the 6 transportation modes we've already identified, and you're employed in what is considered a safety sensitive position, you would do yourself a favor by going to the computer, pulling up 49 CFR, and reading the regulations for yourself. Many times when people come into our office, they are befuddled. How long is this going to take? What is this about? Why am I the one chosen? They go on and on and on and on. And oftentimes they are valid questions. Sometimes their employers have already given them these answers, and yet they weren't able to hear them at that time. And then sometimes they're not given the answers. At any rate, I advise all my clients to read 49 CFR for themselves. They will see everything explained in very plain English that anyone is able to understand pretty much. It describes the role of the SAP. It identifies what employees or prospective employees are to be tested. It talks about the testing process as far as urinalysis or urine collection, and also as far as breathalyzing is concerned, among other things. Every single facet of the entire process pretty much is explained in 49 CFR. Now, there are additional parts, certainly for the U.S. Coast Guard, and we'll talk about that at a future time. The other thing I would like to point out is that we, having completed evaluations since 2008, we're probably in the Metroplex. We have been providing SAP evaluations longer than almost anybody in the Fort Worth area. I can think of only 2 other SAPs in the Fort Worth area that have more professional experience in this area than myself. Again, we are Therapeutic Concept Substance Abuse Services. We're located in Fort Worth, Texas at 8341 Camp Bowie Boulevard West. Our phone number is 817-921-2272. 817-921-2272. If you didn't catch the phone number, we are listed under Therapeutic Concepts Substance Abuse Services. Also, check us out on our website at SAP Services TX.com. That's SAP Services TX.com. I'm going to go ahead and conclude for today. I will be back to speak with you in the future and on an ongoing basis, bringing you more information regarding the DOT Qualified SAP, that is Substance Abuse Professional process. There's a great deal to know about the process. If you have any questions, feel free to call our office, and we absolutely will assist you as best we can. If we're not able to assist you, we will certainly give you the information or point you in the direction of the Department of Transportation's Alcohol and Drug Policy Unit in Washington, D.C. Because again, they take this process extremely serious because public safety is a first. Have a good and safe day.